If you don't change this, carnivore will never change you. This one change is the reason why Patrick has lost almost 100 pounds in the last 8 months, while I have lost nothing in the last 2 months. So in this video, I'm gonna reveal the one simple change that Patrick made when he started his carnivore journey, how anyone can apply it so that you too can experience the life-changing benefits of the carnivore diet. But first, let me show you what happened when I didn't do this and then the change that it made when I did. Unlike Patrick's amazing success, I have been caught up in being carnivore for a few days, ketovore for a few days, just being off for a few days, and then what all of this leads to is just a cycle of inconsistency that feels impossible to break out of. And I kept wondering, why is Patrick able to stay consistent when I struggle? This is not only a pattern we see when one person is trying and failing to lose weight, when one person succeeds and one person fails, but we also see this pattern when people are trying to break patterns of addiction with alcohol, where one person succeeds and one person fails. What are these people doing that allow them to finally make a change in their life? And here's what I found. People who break their addictions admit they are powerless and that their lives have become unmanageable. This one change starts with a change in our mindset. We are powerless and it's unmanageable. Few people will do what it is necessary to change until they have hit rock bottom. And until we see how powerless we are and how unmanageable our problem has become, we will not be able to recognize the change that we have to do. So for me personally, I feel powerless to deal with my emotions without using food. Food is almost self-care to me. When I go through a drive-thru and I get those fries, I get an immediate dopamine hit that makes my body feel warm and loved and cared for. But because I have been using food in this way for such a long time, my body and my health has become unmanageable. When I first started the carnivore diet, I was almost 300 pounds. When I would try to get my child ready to leave the house, just trying to bend down and pick him up, get his shoes on, I was so breathless just from those easy activities because I was so overweight. And then almost 100% of my mental energy was spent on where I was gonna get my next meal and what I was going to be eating, which often this led me going to a fast food drive-thru, ordering some crappy food, and then sitting alone in a parking lot, binge eating on food. So, what about you? In what ways has food made you feel powerless? And in what ways has food made your life become unmanageable? And if you feel comfortable, don't feel like you have to, but let us know in the comments below, because sometimes when you are struggling with food addiction, you can feel completely alone. But I just want you to know, if this is you, if this story resonates with you, you are not alone and we can get out of this together. So how do we get out of this? Now that we have really recognized in our minds that we are desperate for a change, what is the change that we need to make? And how do we apply this change not just for 1 month, but for many months and hopefully for the rest of our lives? This is where the carnivore diet can be especially helpful for people who are struggling with food addiction, because it lessens the amount that you even have to think about food. What are you going to eat today? Meat. That is it. And so it really helps to reset your mindset around food so that you're not constantly thinking about it. But also, carnivore can really help to remove the link between food and a dopamine hit. Unlike an alcoholic who hopefully can completely cut alcohol out from their lives, if you are struggling with food addiction, you can't just stop eating. We have to get food from somewhere. And this is where the carnivore diet can be so helpful, because since carnivore is almost a 0 carb diet, you're not constantly getting carbohydrates throughout your day and then constantly activating these dopamine hits in your brain that leads to your food addiction. So that completely stops. So even though the carnivore diet can be very beneficial for someone who is struggling through the process of food addiction, how do we actually stick to it? The way I see it, you can do carnivore one of two ways. You can eat meat today, you can sacrifice today, and then in 3 months from now, you can wake up with a completely changed life. Inflammation gone, 40, 50, 60 pounds gone. Or you can continue to eat the way you're eating and then wake up 3 months from now feeling miserable, feeling like a failure, and then just wondering, why wasn't I able to stick with it 3 months ago? Why didn't I just keep going? You can either have it one of those two ways. It is your choice. But to really apply this mindset shift that we are powerless and that this powerlessness has caused our lives to become unmanageable, we really have to take it one day at a time. Only think about staying carnivore for the next 24 hours. And then as you do that each day, it will get easier and easier to make this change a lifestyle change. Many of the successful carnivores that I know do this. Patrick has been encouraging me to take it one day at a time. And then I will never forget the Laura Spath video I watched where she was telling herself, I can't eat peanut butter today, but maybe I can have it tomorrow. Again, just focusing on the next 24 hours. So today I encourage you to stay carnivore for the next 24 hours. If you are watching this, look at the clock right now. Your time starts now, my time starts now, and we together can make this one change to make sure that we beat our food addictions and that we experience the life-changing benefits of the carnivore diet. And if you would like more information about the carnivore diet, or if you need a meal plan for your next 24 hours, because I know you can do this, make sure to click on this video, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Stay strong for the next 24 hours.